Okay, hi, this is a Vernier Spectrum Tube Carousel. It's a carousel because it contains up to 8 tubes of a sealed gas or vapor. To begin, on the back there is a plug-in for a power source, and typically we'll um, store this unplugged, but then you can go ahead and you just plug this in, and then there is the on-off switch, and if we down is off and then up is on. And I will say that when you turn it on, it can take up to 3 minutes to see. You're actually going to view the output on the opposite side of the source, which we'll show you that in a minute. It can take up to 3 minutes for what they call the discharge to strike, and that's completely normal for this instrument. So if you don't see the light emitting that you're looking for right away, it's okay. Just be patient and wait on that. What each of these tubes are, they actually come out. There's a opening in the top, and let's get a movie trial. They come right out. They're purchased separately. You can purchase the different gases that you want to come in through there, and then they're on the back. It'll tell you the name of the gas that it is, and it also has these metal connections, and so that's actually what's making the connection then for that electric current to pass through that low pressure gas or low pressure vapor that's sealed inside. So when we put it in, we just make sure that there's a nice connection that forms, and you can kind of just wiggle it just a little bit and just make sure that there's that connection. And then you just gently rotate through the carousel to change the different gases or vapors that you're wanting to view. Electrons, when they're in their ground state, which is their most common or lowest energy location, they absorb specific amounts of energy to make them specific physical and energetic jumps to excited states. So if they get certain amounts of energy at the right time, they have the opportunity to then re-release that energy, and it can be viewed as visible light if the proper energy is applied to it. So that's really the basics behind what's happening with this spectral tube carousel. Is we are running an electric current through this low pressure sealed gas or vapor and giving it just that right amount of energy that those electrons need. It will excite those electrons, and then as they re-release that energy, it's giving off wavelengths of light that are specific to that gas that's within that sealed container.
Okay, so in addition to the spectral tube carousel is a optics fiber so that you can actually use a SpectroVis Plus to collect the wavelengths of the light emitted from the gas. And so there is a little device that goes on the front, and there are two little set screws that go right in here on bottom, and then this just sets on the front of the device. Then what you'll do is you'll have a laptop with a SpectroVis Plus plugged into the USB, and then you'll have the fiber optics that will actually go down into where you normally put your cuvettes. You will put this down in. There is an arrow on this little device that goes down in that looks like a cuvette. It needs to match up with the arrow that is on the SpectroVis. So when you put this down in, it goes down in with the arrows facing each other. Okay. And so then what you'll do is then you'll put this into the Spectrum Tube Carousel, and then just tighten it down a little bit, just kind of set the screw. Now, once it's there, you may have to do a little bit of fine adjustment, but for the most part, it should be pretty close. If you can look in and you can see the light, then you're sitting pretty good. And then you'll hit collect. And when you hit collect, it will give you the spectrum of whatever it is that you have. I'll show you this one, and then I'll jump around to a couple other ones so you can see. This has quite a few lines on it. See, now that's showing, that shows all the other, and then you got the deeper ones that are down. So if I go back to So that's number 7. What's 7?
Neon.
Neon. That's 1.
1 is carbon dioxide.
Okay. Which has a lot of noise. And then 2,
2 is hydrogen.
which has the one big peak
Red.
in red.
And then 1 at that pale blue.
Yep.
And then there's a couple of lines at the violet end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's doing it. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that on the side it's set up for absorbance. You can also switch this to wavelength. So it needs to be on absorbance. And if you don't see the lines, you may have to scale this. And so literally all you do is you grab on the side of this and pull this down on the scale side. Just grab it and pull it down, and it'll basically you want to have more numbers. Right now, right now it's like 2.5 on absorbance on this side. If it's down to 1, you might not see these lines that are up here on top. You don't have to start and stop. You can just keep it continuously running, and you can see it's kind of adjusting as we're going. So you don't have to start and stop. Once it's up and going, keep it going. The only other option, if you aren't getting anything, you need to relook at your line of sight for the gas. Just pull this back out, look through, and if you can see the line of gas glowing, then you're good to go. So in this kit, we do have the Spectral Tube Carousel, and that goes in. So then we also have the fiber optic holder that we talked about. You got a power supply for the actual carousel. You got your Spectro Viz Plus that hooks up to the laptop and then runs the fiber optic. We have a laptop that has the Vernier program on it. And then the actual fiber optic. And then also in here, we provide diffraction glasses that students can use, they can put on, that they can look at the gases. If you don't like those, we also provide, some people don't want to have them up next to their eyes, then you also have just diffraction little grading windows to look at and to go through. And then we also supply, these are the same things, but they're just viewfinders, and it actually has the numbers of the wavelengths inside here as well. So you just look through here and you can see, and it has the numbers inside there, and you can do the same thing as the other ones, but it's calibrated. So that's what's inside the tub.